My name is Nickita Stark. I am founder of When Push Comes to Shove. I was going to say the alternative maternity system, but I don't think I can use the word, was it native? I can't use that either. Okay, the right way maybe, should we say? If you want to go forward in birth, we've got to go back. So why did I do what I do? Well, we've got problems. We've got big problems. And I'm here today to talk about the grassroots of health. Everything starts at birth. And if we get this wrong, we are screwed, to put it bluntly. So we have to get birth right. How many of you, by show of hands, have had or seen or heard of a traumatic birth? Right. That's a lot, okay? Do we think birth is inherently dangerous? It's not inherently safe, it's not inherently dangerous, it just is. But what I want to tell you today, we have been indoctrinated with birth being inherently dangerous. It's a big medical car crash, it's going to be hugely complicated, and we're told we've got to hand over our birth. Let me tell you, birth is a physiological process that will occasionally need medical intervention. It's not a natural process that happens occasionally if you're lucky. Now, disclaimer, I am not here to tell anyone how to give birth. It's not my business. But what I am here to do is to provide women and families with informed consent. It's become a swear word in the mainstream. We're not allowed informed consent. If women don't have choices, if they don't have information in front of them, or even know how to access information, how can they make an informed decision? If I had provided a woman, one of my clients, with every single bit of information I could possibly find, and they still want to go and book an elective cesarean section, cool, awesome. It's about empowerment of women. Now, let me give you a typical example of what goes on in the medicalization of childbirth. It's become pathologized, and it's actually, what's the word? It's sabotage. There's outright lies. I hear all the time, oh, I had to have a C-section, my baby was breech. No, you didn't. Breech is a variation of normal, and I really apologize if I have triggered anyone because there's a lot of trauma in birth. But if you have been triggered, please come and find me and we can talk this through because we do help with trauma, even 40, 50 years after childbirth. But anyway, so people are told, you can't have a vaginal birth because you've got a breech baby. Well, rubbish. You don't have the practitioners, is what you're telling the woman. You don't have anyone that's actually good at attending a physiological breech birth. And if one says, well, we can facilitate that, but it has to be done in hospital, well, I would suggest if you've got a consultant that doesn't know the difference between a physiological upright breech birth and a breech in the lithotomy position, so your legs in the air in stirrups on your back, run a mile. Because we have to understand physiological birth if we're going to go forward. So a typical woman might say, okay, well, I'm at 40 weeks. I'm meant to have my baby at 40 weeks. The term 40 weeks was coined by an obstetrician in the 1800s, and he based his calculations on the lunar calendar, and we still use it today. It takes some women 44 weeks to cook their babies. But we don't see it because we're not allowed, hate that, I hear it all the time. Am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to do that? You can do what you want. It's your body. It's your choice. So a woman will be told, okay, well, you've got to come in for an induction. Well, let me tell you what that involves, shall I? Now, I'm here to talk about love because birth is everything. Birth is love, and everything starts at birth. Do we all know what oxytocin is? Okay, good. I'm in front of the right audience. Oxytocin, it's your love hormone. You're just going like that can release oxytocin. Now, let me tell you, babies are made in love and born in love. When you have sex, you release oxytocin. Now, imagine this. You're making love with your partner. You're in the most beautiful embrace. And then some idiot smacks open the door, turns the lights on, going, you're right. You can probably do this. You might be able to reach orgasm, but probably not. And I'm just going to take your pulse, and can I put a strap around you? Would you be able to get back into that beautiful embrace again? Hell no. Same goes for birth. Women are constantly interrupted. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to check you. I'm just going to check you? What about, can I put my hand inside you? No, you don't need a cervical exam, because guess what? Your cervix isn't a crystal ball. All it tells the practitioner is how dilated you are in that moment in time. It doesn't tell them where you were 5 minutes ago or even in an hour's time, because let me tell you, just the process of a vaginal exam can cause so much adrenaline, especially in women who've experienced trauma before, that their cervix can close up. And this is good. This is what evolution has done for us. If you were on the terrain a few thousand years ago and you see a predator, your body goes, don't give birth now, that's going to eat you. So your body goes, cool, no more oxytocin. Adrenaline stops that. And we wonder in hospitals why women fail to progress. Bright lights, feelings of being observed, hearing other women giving birth, strangers, can I put my hand inside you? Or not even asking, I'm just going to put my hand inside you. No, but women don't realize that it's become normal. And all these people that raise their hands saying, I've heard of trauma, I've seen trauma, let me assure you something. What you've experienced or seen is common, it's not normal. There's a difference. So a poor woman will go through the system, the systemic fear-based practice of midwifery and obstetrics, which is frankly not fit for purpose. And they'll be like, oh, you're overdue. We've got to give you syntocin, or as you call it in the States, Pitocin. Do you know what that does? First, that stops your natural oxytocin. It blasts your uterus over and over again with this synthetic form of oxytocin, and it's bloody painful. As I'm sure ladies will testify, they've known, they've been induced, right? So you go, can I have an epidural, please? So they're like, yeah, of course. By the way, during pregnancy, don't take drugs, don't smoke, but when you're in labor, we'll blast you full of opiates. That's cool, right? So you have an epidural, which is made from fentanyl as well, by the way. So they'll give you the epidural, and you're like, oh, yeah, cool. I'll pass this like a marshmallow. Cool, yeah. So I lay on my back. I'm going to lay on my back, which, of course, gravity's not helping there because you're in the lithotomy position. And the epidural slows down your labor. So they up the synto. And then it starts the domino effect. And they go, oh, she's failing to progress. We're going to give them more synto. And while this is happening, your uterus is being blasted full of these horrible, horrible contractions. And your baby's placenta is being starved of oxygen. And then there's D cells. And the midwife and the obstetrician is like, right, theatre, ventouse, forceps, cesarean operation. And they want you to thank them for saving your baby from a process they started in the first place. This is common, but it's not bloody normal, okay? I want to say, women of Earth, take back your birth. Peace on earth starts at birth, and we have got to get this right. If we want to go forward in birth, we have got to go back. In the 30s, they were giving women x-rays, and that ended up with babies with cancer, right? And then, as we mentioned earlier, what happened in the 50s, 60s? Thalidomide. Okay? Then in the 90s, they were giving women Cytotec to induce labor, and they ended up with hundreds of thousands of dead babies and ruptured uteruses. And what's happening now? We've got the vaccine. Yeah, and let me tell you, at what point does anecdotal become evidence, right? Okay, because I'm in the birth world. I've been a practitioner for 13 years, and I'm seeing a very, very, well, okay, we're not going to get into that today, because you're all here for a reason. I've only got a couple minutes left. So I'm here to talk about a solution. I'm not going to keep whinging about it. And again, if you have been triggered, please come and talk to me. Go to whenpushcomestosshove.co.uk. We have people trained in trauma healing. We do 3-step rewind. And we are here together to do something about this. And I just want to take a moment to thank Tess and to thank the Better Way Conference and the World Council for Health, because what you're doing is monumental, and we have to bring birth into this, because it all starts at birth. Imagine this, okay? You've got a woman who's found out they're pregnant, and they're like, I don't really feel like going for all these blood tests. I trust my body, because you don't think at 6 weeks pregnant, oh my God, how do I grow the kidneys? How do I do that? Your body just does it. And let me tell you, if you were in a coma, your head needs no input into the process. You will just give birth, okay? It's called the fetal ejection reflex, and your body knows what it's doing. You don't really need to put any input in. You have to be, in fact, the epitome of a human being, not a human doing. You just need to be, and you need to have love. This is what it's all about today. Can you all feel the love in the room today over the last couple of days? This is what we need. Our oxytocin has been on a high, right? And this is what we need for birth. Imagine if a woman has just birthed her baby herself with no doctor going, no, you can't do that. We all seen the Monty Python sketch. What do I do? Nothing, dear, you're not qualified. Can I get the machine that goes beep? If we don't have that, and we've got a woman going, oh my God, I've just birthed my own baby, and she's got that Lion King holding up the Simba moment. Do you think that woman is going to acquiesce into other things that they want you to do? Right, you've got to have this jab. She'll probably go, yeah, do you know what? I've got a few questions before we do that. So just give me a moment and I'm going to go away and decide. But then that's a swear word as well, isn't it? Informed consent. But if we start at birth and we teach children, my second child is going to be 2 in July. She's already seen 8 births. I put her on my back when I go and deliver babies. I shouldn't say deliver, I don't deliver them, the mums do. So I put my daughter on my back because that's what we do. And the mum's like, yeah, bring your baby in, it's all cool. She's seen lots of births. She's going to think it's normal. We need to teach children that don't be afraid of your body, embrace it. And we also need to know how lucky we are when we do need medical intervention. I'm not here to tell anyone how to give birth. It's not my business. But what women need to know is they have a choice. So the solution is, for years, I've been trying to fight a broken system. And you know what? The system works perfectly well for the system, just not the women birthing inside it. So I created a new one. And that is when push comes to shove. We've got 100 birth practitioners in 6 different countries. We even have an access fund. I understand not every woman can afford private care. So anyone that works, not for me, no one works for me, anyone on my directory, if I get them work, I ask them to donate 10% of their fee to the access fund. So I can serve low-income families for free. And that's how it should be. We also heavily rely on donations. If you would be so kind as to make a generous donation, it will really help our work, and we can continue to serve women all around the world for free who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it, and actually give them the power, you know? They have to have the power. I've gone over time. I'm going to stop ranting. But I teach, if anyone is interested, I teach doctors, I teach midwives, I teach doulas. I'm starting a new course tomorrow, so you can become a natural birth practitioner. We've got education for children, for parents to be on the website, whenpushcomestosshove.co.uk. And the song, that's to spread awareness. So just pop in on YouTube, Nickita, Breathe Again, if you like it. Thank you so much for giving me this time to speak about such an important and integral part of life, birth. Love you all. Mwah. Thank you. Thank you.